Okay, here we are. Today we are at the Black Hills National Backcountry Byway. We're gonna check this road out. It's a about 21-mile old historic wagon route, I believe. Heads up from Safford area to just up by Clifton, Arizona. So we're gonna explore it. There's supposed to be a lot of historical areas, dispersed camping sites, and I believe it crosses the Gila River at one point. So we're gonna air the tires down and check this out. All right, so I got the tires aired down and we're only about maybe a quarter mile in, and we're at this information kiosk. So we're gonna head over here and see if we can find out about this highway, or I guess I shouldn't really call it a highway, this backcountry byway. So you see, here's the map. We came out of Safford and then we entered on this point here, heading north, and then it comes out just south of Clifton, Arizona. Here's the Gila River, so it does cross the Gila River. And it says unpaved but accessible to high clearance vehicles during dry weather, 21-mile long byway, plan at least 2 hours drive time. Speed limit along the byway 15. I don't think you really have to worry about getting pulled over on this road. Okay, this vantage point gives a little bit better view and orientation of where we are. So that mountain right there is Mount Graham, and you can see the road out there. That's where we entered on, and just down right there at the foot of that foothill there is the information kiosk. And we've only gone about maybe a half a mile so far, but just wanted to kind of pull over and point out the better orientation and area of where we were. So we're about 3.5 miles in now, and we got to this Black Hills Rockhound Area. We're gonna take a little bypass over here and head down this road. I believe that right down there in that little canyon is a rockhound area. Not really sure what that means or what it is, but we're gonna go find out. There's some information signs up here, but unfortunately they're all sun damaged, so you can't read anything on them. But the views are pretty awesome. Lots of high desert, lots of hills, lots of mountains. I'm hoping there's some hiking trails that we come across, because I really would like to hike one of these hills. Oh, and I just noticed there's a railroad trestle. Maybe it's an old mine right there. We'll come back and check that out and see what that is. Okay, so we arrived at the Black Hills Rockhound Area. I'm not really sure what type of rocks are here. I'm assuming probably geodes or something similar. There's a few people out here dispersed camping, and I'm assuming rock hounding. You can also camp out here for up to 14 days. I was reading the information kiosk, and campfires are allowed right now. It's a pretty open area, so if you don't have any shade or an RV, it'd be kind of hot during the day. I don't think we're going to do any rock hounding. We're just out here exploring, but you never know, we may be back to pick up some rocks. Okay, quick update. It is now a couple of days later, and I wanted to share with what we learned at the Rockhound area. We met this couple who explained to me that the rocks out there are actually fire agates, and they're very rare to find in nature other than certain places, and it happens to be the area near Safford is one of the places where you can actually look for them without a permit, and you can camp there, and there's no charge. So they told me to just walk around and look to see what we could find. We didn't really spend too much time there because, again, I didn't know at the time what I was really looking for. So here's what we found, and probably 10 or 20 minutes of looking. They're actually really cool if you take them, and you can, I don't know how well the camera's showing, I don't have good lighting here, but they have like this fiery look when you hold them up to the light. And I guess these are fairly rare, and when people pay pretty good money if you find a really good one, if it's polished and, you know, in good condition. A lot of these, like I said, I don't know what I was looking for. They just told me to kind of look for they look like broken pieces of old beer bottles on the ground, and there was quite a few of them. We didn't spend as much time as I would have liked had I known, you know, what I was looking for at the time or what they actually were. But kind of cool to see these. These are just things we found on the ground out there. But if I had more time, I would probably go back and try to find more. There's tens of thousands of these out there, and I didn't, you know, we just literally scratched the surface, and look at how many we found. I was kind of surprised the number of them out there. Okay, so we did come back up to the main road. We left the Rockhound area, and we were going to stop at that mine shaft or old bridge trestle that we saw earlier, but when we got there I realized it was an old abandoned mine and it didn't look safe, and I decided not to go there because, one, I don't want to get injured, and two, I don't want Rocco falling into a mine shaft or getting injured or something like that. So we continued up the road. We're now at this Phelps Dodge interpretive site. That's what Google Maps says. The only problem with this area is none of these signs have been updated. So just about every sign here that gives any information on the area is completely sun-washed. I don't know how old these signs are, or if they ever do plan on replacing them in the future. But the unfortunate thing now is when you come here, I guess you could look online and find information, but if you come here expecting to read something, you're not going to be able to. So we've been following the road now for probably, I think it was just about 8 miles, and we came to this canyon overlook picnic area. Gonna stop here and have lunch. It's pretty nice for being way out here in the middle of nowhere. They do have barbecue grills, picnic tables, covered ramada. Some pretty good sights. That's Mount Graham in the background still. Out there in the desert down there in the valley is where we started, so we've climbed pretty far. I forgot to check the elevation. I'm assuming it's got to be around 5,000 feet or more because the pinyon and juniper trees started popping up as we were climbing up here. The views here are pretty. There's a mine. That's probably the mine out by Morenci, I'm assuming, although there might be other mines out here. I know there's a really large one out there by Morenci. I'm not really sure what direction I'm facing right now, though I believe that's north because Mount Graham is behind me and Mount Graham is to the south. So I'm pretty sure that's the area up by Morenci. But yeah, we're gonna chill here for about a few minutes and enjoy our lunch. Okay, our first dilemma. We were coming up this side canyon that we saw called Dark Canyon Road. We came up about a mile, and then it wasn't really going anywhere, and it was pretty rough, so I decided to turn around. And what I did was I backed in right here, and I backed in too far, and sorry, I'm out of breath. I've been moving rocks. I got high centered on the rock right there. I thought I could get out with the true track, but I guess both tires are spinning. I don't want to back up yet in case I dig myself in deeper. I do have the tires aired down, so I'm gonna go ahead and jack up the rear. Fortunately, I have the Badlands 3-ton jack, so I want to jack up the rear diff, and get that rock out of there, and should be on our way soon. Okay, that worked. Thank goodness I had that jack. This was the rock that was underneath the rear axle, and I was able to get it out. Jacked up the back end, got it out. I had to move it. Took a lot of wind out of me. That's a pretty heavy rock. I'm going to move it the rest of the way out from behind the van. Don't want to have it center up again. And I'm also going to clear up some of these rocks below the center diff, and then should be out of here pretty quickly. Just thank goodness I had that jack. And we're out. So it took about an hour to get unstuck. I was trying to turn around right here. I saw this runoff area, so I was going to back in and put one wheel on the high spot here and one over here. And Rocco, he's not a very good guide when it comes to backing up. I thought I had one wheel here, but obviously you can see I overcorrected and ended up with my center diff on this, and this rock here got stuck right on the rear axle mount, and this one was wedged in there pretty good. So I had to get the jack the rear end up, get this out, and then go underneath the differential area and flatten this out so that the pumpkin wouldn't get stuck again. As soon as that was done, as soon as I moved these rocks out of the way, we got out no problem. But thank goodness I had this jack. I've had it in there for probably a year and a half now. Not once have I ever used it. I always told myself it's better to have and not need than need and not have. So thank goodness for that, and thank goodness we had the van re-geared and put in a true track, because if I still had the factory gearing and the open diff, we probably would have been stuck. I don't think we would have got out. But anyways, all's good, and we are heading back down to the road. I can't even remember the name of it now. And we're going to finish that up. We've done about 9 miles, 10 miles. Now we're about halfway. But that added to the adventure. Okay, we're back on the main road now. And as we were coming down that dark canyon road, coming towards the end of it, a side-by-side came up beside us, and the guy asked me, his exact words were, "How in the hell did you get that van up there?" And I said, well, there's a story behind that. I did get stuck. And he kind of laughed and he said, well, at least you're able to get out. I've never seen a vehicle that big up on that road before. So I guess I'm the first. Probably the first van, and the first van to get stuck up there. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled adventure. This is the Dodge Phelps interpretive site. I thought the stop a few hours ago was, but this one is. This talks about the mine. And that is the mine out by Morenci that I saw earlier. It's a huge mine. Phelps Dodge Morenci, the largest copper mine in the northern hemisphere. I read that. I didn't know that offhand. I don't want people to think that I'm smart, because I'm not. But these signs all say a little bit about the mine. Feel free to pause if you want to read any of it. History, how they get it from rock to copper. And then this is kind of interesting, the all the mountain peaks in the background there, out there. I think Rocco's a little tired from our previous dilemma and adventure. He didn't even want to get out of the van this time. He was getting pretty warm though, waiting for me to get the van out. So I don't blame him. Luckily, we had plenty of water. So worst case scenario, if we did get stuck overnight, we could have slept in the van and he would have had plenty of food and water. So that wouldn't have been too bad of a situation. We do have Starlink and a refrigerator in the van, and we have a bed, so it wouldn't have been like too worrisome. We would have just had to probably pay for a tow or to have somebody come and get us unstuck. Luckily, that didn't happen. So the road just dropped down into the Gila River box canyon area, and as we're coming in, look at those trees. It's night and day difference between what it was just a couple of miles back. Looks like there's I don't know if you can paddleboard or launch a boat from there. Maybe you can. Looks pretty interesting. This is the old Safford Bridge here, crossing the Gila River. And the sign back there did say boat launch area, so I guess you can launch a kayak or paddleboard from there onto the river. Oh yeah, the river, didn't get a shot of it. Maybe we'll get out and explore this area. Oh yeah, here we go, old Safford Bridge picnic area. So we'll go down here and check this out. Really pretty. Rocco's gonna have a good time at the water here. Well, we made it to the river. Unfortunately, it's extremely muddy down there, so I don't know if we can actually get down to the water without getting mud everywhere. And I think Rocco's content just right here, looking at the water. Pretty area. Yeah, this is a really nice area. A lot of the fall colors already. Only problem is it's open range, so there is a lot of cow patties around here. And this guy just apparently decided to, fortunately, not roll on a cow patty, but roll in the mud. He was pretty hot at the area when we were stuck, so he needs to cool down. He's going to need a bath, though. Not a care in the world. You done? I guess not. Rocco, was that fun? You're shaking your head no, but you look like you had a good time. Anyways, nice area. We're gonna go back and explore more. Get out of the mud. He wants to roll in this gooey mud right here. I don't want him to do that. All right, let me see if I can get him back to the van and dry him off. Okay, so this is the Owl Creek campground. The plan was to stay here, but I don't think we're going to stay here just because it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I'd rather go explore more. But just wanted to show you the overlook here by the campground. We've never actually been here before. It's our first time, but I really like how they're right over the water. Those trees look pretty neat. Just starting to change. And this campground is only $5 a night, and it has a picnic table, ramada, obviously the views, and a fire pit and a barbecue grill. So not too bad for $5. It's a little remote, but if you're coming out here to explore this area, it's not a bad choice to call it a night here. Owl Creek Campground. Okay, just finished the road, getting the tires aired back up, and we're gonna call it a day. Overall, the road wasn't as scenic as I expected. I expected more out of it, I guess, from reading online. some of the stuff. The picnic area was nice. The scenery was pretty cool, all the mountains, but overall after the first 10 miles are kind of like ready for it to end. The Gila River crossing area was pretty nice down by the water. Only problem is it's a open range, so there is a lot of cow patties everywhere, which kind of sucks. My favorite part was the Rockhound area. Wasn't expecting that, and that was probably for me the coolest thing out there. I would come back again for that, especially considering how many of those fire agates were out there. Fire agates, I don't know how to say it. I think it's agate, fire agates. Worst part of the day obviously was getting stuck. Fortunately we were able to get out. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, that's the backcountry scenic byway between Safford and Clifton. So if you're ever in the area and you want to check it out, feel free. I give it a 6 out of 10 overall.